Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
This week we've got loads, brand new sunglasses, UCI rule-bending handlebars, limitless wheels, your upgrades, the bike vault, and...
our main talking point, a talk about talk.
Yeah, let's talk. Oh, first, we've got our poll on which Italian bike brand is the coolest. Right, so we've been doing polls on which Italian bike brands are the coolest, and then we did our sort of final. We had sort of two semi-finals.
Grand Slam showdown last week.
Yes, so it was between Viglia, Pinarello, Bianchi and De Rosa. These were the brands that had scored the best in the previous polls. And, well, it was a clear winner.
Pinarello.
Yes, 37% of the vote.
Bianchi, 31%, and Viglia, 25%. De Rosa lagging behind on this poll from last week, even though it was a fan favourite in the comments section. Yes,
so there you have it, that's official. We've settled that. I'm sure none of you will disagree and write otherwise in the comments section. That's it, it's settled. We also did a poll last week on Adam Hansen's new TT bike design, hot or not. This is a bike that really divided.
Yeah, people very unsure on this. We've got 49% voted it hot and 51% voted it not. So it's just swung across to not.
Ever so slightly. There you go.
Should we head on to the main talking point?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
For our main talking point this week, we're talking all things talk with Park Tools Director of Education and just all-round bike mechanic Jedi Master, Calvin Jones.
Oh, this will be a good one.
Yeah. Hi, Calvin. How you doing?
Fantastic. I had a wonderful, relaxing morning watching Adam Yates not have anybody pull through for him. He walks the stage.
Yeah, well, I hope you were watching on GCN Plus. Anyway, yeah, good to see you. Shame we can't be together in person, but such is life at the moment. But we wanted to talk, and we figured you were the man for that. So, first question: what is talk, and why is it important?
That's great. And let me do a shocker and say, torque is not important. Torque's not important. What torque gives you is important. What torque creates is tension and force. That's what we want, that force to be with you. We want that force. We get it through torque. But by itself, torque is I think, misunderstood. Torque is simple. It is a force applied in a rotation around the axis of a thread. So here's an old mechanic's joke or a trick. You say, do you torque every nut and bolt on a bike? If you turn the wrench, you are torquing. That's different than measuring the torque. Big difference.
Myself and Alex.
Yeah, we've brought our tool wrenches in.
Alex's is bigger than mine.
Yeah, I've got the big one. Ollie's got a little one.
Anyway, so how do you properly torque a bolt?
And I love this topic, so we'll try not to go down the rabbit hole. Seat post is a great example. Pedals are a different example. The headset adjustment stem's a different example. So on a bike or in your life, two basic types of joints, of bolted joints. One we would call a hard joint and one a soft joint. So a hard joint would be like your pedal into the crank. Bam, it's right there. It's up against the pedal, it's tight. The soft joint is this pinching here. Another great example is our stems, or especially grabbing carbon fiber. Here, you want really more close to maximal torque. Here, you want minimal torque that works, okay? So can I do my magic trick?
Show us.
Okay, here we go. This is what we all need to understand. So here, up my sleeve, a M5 bolt, 5 millimeter bolt. It's just run through a bunch of hard steel washers and a nut on the end. So what we're gonna do is give it the force. We're gonna give it the what for. So I'm gonna measure it, tighten that down. Now, I just can take that out. It just fits through. Modulus of elasticity. Oh, Yes. So we've given it a wedgie. All those little threads there, we're pulling on it and it gives it tension. I can't turn that. I can't turn those anymore. So I don't care what the number is. Bang, 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 bang. It doesn't fit. It doesn't go through. It's longer. Yes. We stretch it a little bit. It's wanting to come back. That applies pressure.
How can you avoid rounding bolts? Because it seems that's something that a lot of people do, a mistake they make. Why do they do it?
Main thing there, we like to see people do, slow down a bit, right? Slow down a little bit. Make sure that the wrench is fully engaged in the part all the way in. It's called purchase, good tool purchase. If you're in a hurry, I just get it on here, or there was some dirt in here, a little bit of dirt, and then I go to turn, I don't have it straight. This gets ruined, this gets ruined.
I've got a common mistake I see people make with torque wrenches. The common mistake that I see people make with torque wrenches is leaving them done up super tight on a high torque setting, which is going to mean your torque wrench eventually goes out of calibration, because a good torque wrench is only as good as the user and how calibrated it is.
That is a good point, and my common mistake was going to be similar to that. So what we're saying is here, when you're done, just relax it a bit, just to the last number. Just to the last number is fine. It doesn't have to be flopping apart. What happens in here is a wrestling match. So you compress a spring, and it gives tension to the head. The bolt has tension. So when the tension of the bolt becomes greater than the tension of the head, click, click, that's where you get the click, click, okay? So that's the concept of a torque wrench. But the spring really, really, really tight, if you relax it, it is gonna keep its calibration longer, okay?
Something that's occurred to me in the past before is when looking at torque settings is about how lubricated bolts are affected differently by the torque compared to if a bolt thread is all dry and maybe corroded. So I think that's something that maybe people might wonder about is, should they lubricate bolts correctly before they put them in and then torque them up? Or how does that affect the torque setting afterwards?
Really, really good question, because remember that what the torque is, it's a measure of the resistance of turning. So we all make the mistake that, oh, we think we're turning really, this is really hard, it must be really tight. Well, if I come and grab your hand, I'm the invisible man and I grab your hand and don't let you turn, doesn't mean the bolt's getting the load, does it? If there's rust and friction inside, that's what's going on. You're feeling the rust. Most things should be greased, but a good manufacturer will state in their literature, crank bolt typically greased, okay. Some are thread lockers, but that provides lubrication as well. There's a few times things are dry, but most always it's lubricated. So
let's talk headsets, right? How does torque affect a headset? Because I think it's quite a common thing that people tighten them too much. Yes,
and some put a torque setting right on the cap, and I wish they wouldn't do that. This is a bearing adjustment. So we have a loose headset. We loosen our two stem bolts. We tighten this. How much do we tighten it? Just a little bit. You've loaded the bearings, then you snug these up and check the headset. It's only until play's gone. So maybe it's 2 Newton meters, 3 Newton meters, or 4 Newton meters. We don't care. It's an adjustment, right? So measuring torque is important on the binder that holds it, but on the adjustment, no, that really shouldn't be there shouldn't be a setting there. It's as loose as you can get away with no rattling, no headset play. So I think it's misunderstood in a headset quite a bit. It's a good example.
One of the sort of simplest sort of go-to things that I always think of when talking about torque settings on bikes is looking at the size of the bolt, and that's the simplest indicator that you can quite often find as to a bit of a guide as the torque settings, because as a general rule, the small bolts have a little torque setting, and the bigger the bolt, then the bigger the torque setting is likely to be.
Correct. That's absolutely true. Big crank bolt. This thing, 40 Newton meters easily. That's a lot of effort, right? And a good mechanic, you should be measuring, that's important, but that feel is also important. There's times you can't get a torque wrench to it, and there's times that you're gonna want to second guess the engineers and maybe think through things on your own. This really doesn't feel tight. It feels like this is maybe too much. Well, maybe there's some obstruction, thread issue, something else is going on. So the feeling is important, right? So like a musician should know the music by ear. The cook should have a sense of the components, and the mechanic should have a good tactile, kinetic sense of the feeling of what is 40 Newton meters, right? If you're not popping a vein or two at 50 Newton meters,
right, final question then for you. The Allen head bolt or Torx bolt? You've got to use one for the rest of your life. Pick one.
Yeah, if you had to, it would be the TRX, the Torx. There's more points of engagement. Guys, you're a powerful force in the industry. Let's do this. Let's start over. Everybody get rid of your bike parts. We're going to start over. We're never going to have headsets that were small. We're going to go only with the 31/8 bars, right? We're going to get rid of all the weird stuff. 26-inch wheels all go away, right? So I'm afraid we're stuck with both. If you could only pick one, more points of engagement is nice. That's good, right? Oh, how about all that fractional stuff, right? Should we keep that? No, but we're stuck with it. So the Torx, I think, is a better system. It's nice engagement, but we got both. So we're going to have to live with.
Right, I think that we're going to have a poll this week then. I think we'll ask that question.
That is a good poll.
They can vote in that poll. Torx or Allen key.
Yeah, what's your favourite bolt?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Right, it's now time for hot tech. And first up, POC have released some new glasses called the Devour. What do you make of these?
They look delicious.
They look delicious. They feature a brand new clarity lens developed with Carl Zeiss, and they've got a big field of vision and interchangeable lenses too.
Adjustable fit as well, so the temples are adjustable and the nose piece, which is nice. And then the lens is actually specially treated. So this is good if you're anything like me. It's scratch resistant, but also hydrophobic as well. So it should repel things like, dirt, blood, sweat, tears, all those
common things that you find on your ride.
Next up, we have the Taipei Bike Show, which ordinarily would be happening right now, although unfortunately we're unable to attend because of the ongoing COVID situation, which is a shame because it's normally a fun event and has just a treasure trove of weird and wonderful bike tech. But fear not, in order to satisfy your insatiable appetite for tech, we're going to be bringing the show to us and then to you.
Yeah, that's right. We've done a roundup of the hottest tech that would have been at the show, so it's worth checking that out.
And we have a competition. So the Taipei Bike Show's moved online this year, which means that you guys can go on the website and check it out yourselves, have a browse around. And it's well worth doing because there's often loads of weird and wonderful tech and also some quite frankly brilliant stuff that we've never seen before as well.
We've decided that we're going to be offering some GCN swag to the person who picks out the greatest bit of hot tech from the show. So make sure you have a look.
Yeah, simply log on to the Taipei Bike Show website. We'll put a link down below. Have a browse and then comment in the comment section down below on the piece of tech that you found, and then we'll pick one and announce it in next week's tech show and send you some GCN merch.
Up next, UCI rule-bending handlebars. Check these out. So a company called Coefficient have released a brand new road race handlebar, which remains completely UCI legal and allows riders to adopt the new band position, which was the puppy paws position or invisible tri-bars.
The position that it allows riders to adopt is similar to what can be achieved with the short Spinacci tri-bars, although they're illegal for use in road racing, and this technically isn't. And that's because this is a one-piece handlebar construction. And I know this because one of my favourite UCI rules, actually. Oh, actually, no, it's not one of my favourite. That's probably not even in the top 10 if I'm being honest. But UCI Rule 1.3.022 states that the attachment of any additional components or extensions to handlebars is prohibited. Prohibited.
It'll be interesting to see if we see any more rule-bending tech like this, and if we see riders start to actually use it in races.
Next, we have some new wheels from Hunt. These are the Hunt Limitless 60s. You might previously remember the Hunt Limitless 48s, as myself and Hank had the pleasure of using them in our epic coast-to-coast ride. Clues in the name, they were 48mm deep. These ones, a bit deeper, 60mm deep.
Yeah, and they're said to be even more aerodynamic than the 48mm wheels. And one of the key features of the Limitless wheels is they're incredibly wide. And these ones are 34mm wide externally. So they're kind of really designed for 28mm tyres and even wider than that.
Yeah, kind of cool for like sort of endurance applications as well.
Yeah, really good.
I remember I actually used on the Limitless 48s, I used 26mm tyres and they fit, but Hank had 28s on and they fitted much.
That's
much
kind of
better.
what they're optimised for,
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah,
much. It was like really like flush with the tyre in the rim. Finally, in Hot Tech this week, we've got a new Met Manta Aero helmet.
Yeah, Met have released an update for their Manta helmet, and this is said to be even more aerodynamic than the last one, and crucially for a bike helmet, even safer.
There's new MIPS integration, so slip plane tech to try and counter the rotational forces that you suffer if you are unfortunate enough to have an impact. That's thanks to a MIPS C2 liner. And there's also a neat feature which caught my eye called a fidlock closure system on the clasp, which will be particularly of interest, I think, to triathletes because it's intended to be much quicker and easier to operate, cutting down valuable transition times.
Oh, crucial.
GCN will be pleased. All right, a bit of hot breaking tech news for you. This emerged just after we finished filming the tech show, that's why I'm out and about now, but I wanted to include it because I thought it was important. Canyon have had an incident with one of their handlebars. You may have seen it. Matty van der Poel's drops snapped at Les Samin earlier in the week. And Canyon has sort of launched an investigation to find out the exact cause of how this happened. They don't know yet, but in the meantime, they've suggested that people stop using their CP0015 and CP0018 cockpits, which are found on the Canyon Aero CF SLX and the Canyon Aero CFR. That's the latest Aero, not the previous model. However, the Canyon Aero CF SL isn't affected. So don't worry if you've got one of those. But they've suggested people stop using those cockpits in the meantime until they've deemed them to be safe. And this goes for the pro riders who are sponsored by them as well. They're going to be either using the Ultimate or the previous Aeroad until they've determined it. But yeah, more to follow, I guess. I'm going to get back to my ride now. Right. Yeah, time now for snacks of the week.
I'm going to actually run and get them.
Yeah, I've just got word that they've arrived, so
I'll see you in a bit.
see you in a bit.
Oh, we've got another good one this week.
Oh yeah, right, first, Lucky Sane have sent us some of their superior unfiltered lager. I mean, it's low alcohol beer.
0.5%.
Yeah, low alcohol beer, but, I mean, that means you can drink it on the bike.
And on the job.
Yeah, do you want to get on that?
Oh, cheers, mate, thanks.
Just 53 calories per bottle, apparently.
I'm going to save mine.
This is a great excuse to use the Park Tool BO2 bottle opener.
BO2.
Yeah.
But you haven't asked what I've got. I've got some snacks of my own this week. Good friend of mine, David, has actually sent us in some Connie the Caterpillars because, well, I'll tell you why, because I requested them a little while ago from him. I said, do us a solid, send in some Connie the Caterpillars.
Any relation to Colin, the big caterpillar cake?
Yeah, this must be a smaller sister.
Okay.
Although a couple of these are a bit damaged in the post, but
right.
I'm going to have one. Yeah, I'm going to have one now.
Smash out some Connies, nice. Tell you what, something good about Connie is that whenever you get a big Colin, the caterpillar, there's always an inevitable fight over who gets to eat the face. But with a pack of Connies, everyone gets the face.
Everyone gets the face. It has taken time since I've started though, but we've now, cheers. We've now slowly evolved snacks of the week to the point that on a regular weekly basis, we're having beer and chocolates.
Mate, we're geniuses. We're actually geniuses.
Great. I can't wait to see what we've got next week.
Cha-ching!
It's now time for screw riding upgrades by upgrades.
Where you submit evidence, pictures, videos, whatever evidence you have to hand of the upgrades that you've made to your bikes, equipment, or cycling lives. You submit this in the GCN app, and it's all in a bid to win the ultimate prize, which is a GCN water bottle from Elite. Where's it gone?
They keep sending them out every time.
Anyway, last week's results first. So we had Vittorio Negri's Vittorio Bike Restoration versus Cyclark 7's Facebook Marketplace Bargain. And the winner, and it was a close one, was Vittorio Negri.
Bike Restoration. Yeah, 53% he had. Very good.
Yeah.
This week, though, we have, first up, we've got Jaywood 1986. Right, so finally
that
done.
was the year he was born.
You think? I wasn't sure if it was the gearing on his bike or something.
Probably not.
Finally done. So happy with the end result, he says. Park foam, and park tools, and shadow foam. So what have we got here? He's got a big upgrade to his toolbox.
I'm digging this, I'm digging this.
That's smart.
Proper cool. It's a bit like when in a film, when an assassin opens up like a briefcase and there's like all the little components of their sniper rifle.
I do like having all of your tools laid out like that. And that's how I used to have everything when I was still working fixing cars, but obviously...
That is smart. That is so smart. Oh, God, I wish I had that toolbox. That'd be amazing. Well, it's not really plain sailing, though, because CF, or C. Francisco, has submitted this. So this bike was just like a landscape ornament in their garden, just there, doing nothing, sat there. But then they decided to actually make it rideable and upgrade it. So, completely stripped, repainted, cleaned, lubed all round, nickel plated the rusted parts, respoked the wheels apparently, kept everything original apart from the tyres, spokes, nuts and bolts, and spent just $300 on the transformation you're about to see. Look at this.
Whoa.
That is amazing.
So bright, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, what a cracking
It looks
paint
brand
job.
new.
And just tastefully done. Like, just very tastefully done.
Like a genuine restoration.
Yes. What a fun project. Apparently it took 50 hours of labour to restore it.
It's got all the parts laid out nicely there.
Yeah, that is, fantastic progress photo, that. I really appreciate that. I think that's great. But I think they're both really good, but it's not up to us.
No.
You decide. Vote in the app. Link is down below. It's time now for the Bike Vault, where you send us pictures of your bikes and we judge them to be nice or super nice. If they're super nice, Alex rings the bell and they get committed to the Bike Vault for eternity. And you can play along at home as well. All the bikes featured, which are submitted in the GCN app, are on there for you to vote on as well. So if you disagree with us...
Can I ring it?
Yeah, I'll go to ring it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Right. First up this week, we've got HTX2PJ RVST, catchy name, with a very nice bike. This is a standard Chrysage RS disc. What do you make of that? Nice background.
Very nice.
Nice background. Some sort of half-baked attempt has been made to align the wheels and valves.
And the gearing.
That's a pass, I guess. Very, very neat saddlebag on that beautifully carbon-railed saddle. That's an incredibly smart bike, isn't it? Again, slightly half-baked attempt at Biggie Smalls and a 3
I really
o'clock
like the sort of traditional geometry of the frame, you know.
A Chris King headset on there and carbon. That's very nice. Do you know what?
I know what I'm going to do.
I think it's a super nice.
Yeah, I'm going super nice.
Very good. Kappa Null has submitted this specialised diverge overlooking a train line.
Oh, I like that. Good picture.
Well, it's an okay picture, Alex.
Okay.
It would have been a lot better if the bike had been moved a metre more to the right, and therefore you had the perspective looking down the train tracks, just perfect, bang on.
Yeah, it's a little bit off center.
Yeah, it's just not. I mean, you see what he's tried to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think that's a nice.
It's gonna be nice. We can't let those sort of things slide through, unfortunately.
Yeah. Who we got next?
Up against a P2B4 with his. Oh, I tell you what, I've just spotted wheels made by Harry Rowland, which is a guy that used to live not far from where I used to live.
Wow, cool story, bro.
Yeah, genuinely.
This Concorde looks amazing. I mean, that's just turbo saddle. Oh,
God, that's amazing.
Oh no, turbo saddle. Yeah, oh god. Super nice.
You're going to say you're that excited, you can't get your words out.
Love a bit of gravel sort of background as well. Nice bit of pointing on that old medieval wall. Adam CG691 has submitted his
Strada
3T Strada in a beautiful woodland scene.
Oh, misty morning.
Stick propping it up. This
is very well presented, but what I kind of want to point out, because this is not something we've necessarily highlighted before, is that the drive side crank, even when you have your cranks level, should be forwards.
It technically should be, but I'm thinking the photography skills are making up for it. I think it's a beautiful image. I want to ride my gravel bike there.
God, yeah, I'm going to have to let that slide, because as a whole, as all-round package, this is a good image.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah,
Nice.
super nice from me.
More Bike Vault next week. Unfortunately, that's it for this week's show, so make sure you go and check out the Type A Bike Show online and submit your bit in the comment section below as to what you think is the coolest bit of tech you find, and we'll announce one of the winners. We'll pick someone who comments at random and announce it in next week's show.
I'm looking forward to picking out some of the highest cool tech.
Yeah, do you know what I'm looking forward to, though?
Yeah.
Got any more of them caterpillars left?
Oh, I've got a couple left, actually.
See you next week.
See ya.